over there. We can see some movement.
The curtains are starting to move. That means we're just moments away. There they are. They're open. That is Cardinal Tehran.
Latin, I announce to you with great joy, we have a Pope.
Here we go, motherfucker. Dude.
He said it in Latin. I'm not sure what he said.
All right, we believe that the name they said was Bergoglio. Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio. He is the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Very important to note, he is the man believed to have finished second to Pope Benedict in the last conclave. We have been told earlier today by a retired cardinal, Bergoglio had not been in the conversation of frontrunners. He said, you're making a mistake, because if they cannot get somebody to get 77 votes, Bergoglio is the man who can bring everyone together. He needs no introduction.
You may recall, Chris, earlier in the week we were saying that if the Cardinals did have a strong desire to elect someone who could symbolically represent dynamic growth of Catholicism outside the West, and if they could unify around a single Latin American candidate, that person would be in very strong position. We simply thought there were a number of plausible Latin American candidates. But obviously we know from 8 years ago, Cardinal Bergoglio enjoyed enormous respect then and enormous respect now. He is a Jesuit, a member of the Society of Jesus.
What are they putting out now, John?
This is a tapestry getting ready for the Pope's, what is known as his Urbi et Orbi address, his address to the city and to the world. This is the papal tapestry, Chris, because now there is once again a Pope with the Catholic Church.
Right. Now, for those of you who are trying to figure out what this will mean before the Pope comes out himself, we believe he finished second in the last conclave, which means he has tremendous respect. He's a very simple man. He lives in a small apartment. He makes his own meals. He eschews any of the
trappings of power. He renounced his chauffeur-driven limousine that the Archbishop of Buenos Aires typically had and actually took the bus to work every day. So the people of Buenos Aires knew that if they wanted a few minutes with their Archbishop, they could simply hop on the bus with him and have a sort of informal rolling audience.
So he was born December 17th, 1936 in Buenos Aires. That makes him, 76 years old?
That's right.
He was ordained for the Jesuits in 1969. He was made a cardinal in 2001 by John Paul II. But that's who it is. If it's Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, he's the next pope.
Chris, if you remember last week in New York, I said to you, second person last time, got 40 votes supposedly, according to accounts of this cardinal's diary. Why is no one talking about him? And we looked at it and we said, well, maybe he's considered too old. But I guess if this is the case, he was not considered too old.
Well, you know, it just goes to show you how so many of the factors we often trot out in terms of the handicapping of the papal sweepstakes, things like nationality and age, and, you know, whether they come from the Vatican or whether they come from the diocese, you know, often are secondary. I think those 115 voters, the members of the college, wanted to elect the man they believed brought the right qualities, and they believe they found that man in Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who becomes the first non-European pope in the history of the Catholic Church. Very important, the New World.
Very important because it shows the Catholic Church expansion around the world. South America has the most Catholics of any place in the world. We have been talking about would the Catholic Church extend itself, go beyond Europe. And now we know our answer. If Cardinal Bergoglio is the new Pope, South America has its first, we have our first non-European Pope. Would he be the first Pope?
He will be the first Pope outside of Europe, and therefore the first Pope from the realm outside the West. And let's remember, Chris, that almost half, over 40% of the Catholics in the world today live in Latin America. Spanish is the most commonly spoken language in the Catholic Church. And so this is a dramatic, historic moment for the Catholic Church.
And Italian television is saying that he picked the name Francis.
Which would be stunning. The first Pope who ever named himself after St. Francis of Assisi, the legendary Francis.
And what would that mean? What would be the significance?
Well, St. Francis, of course, believed that the church needed to be reformed. He went into the square, took off all of his clothing, and said, no, I'm not going to be trapped by all of these externals. I'm going to live a simple life, a life of poverty, as witness to Jesus. And so how fascinating that we've been talking about a reformer Pope, and that may be exactly what we've got.
Francis, of course, the great patron saint of poverty, Lady Poverty. He talked about his love and his romance with poverty, seen as the great patron of simplicity, humility, closeness to the people, sort of the, if you like, the antibody to all of the sort of usual stereotypes we often have about princes of the church as kind of being aloof and ethereal and out of touch. If indeed the new Pope has chosen the name Francis, I think you and I would agree that is one of the most dramatic bits of introductory symbolism one could imagine.
And for a Jesuit, not to pick Ignatius, his own founder,
is fairly dramatic in and of itself.
Yes.
Well, you know, we have been talking here about, is the Catholic Church, are there symbols here, as you said, of potential change? Pope Benedict creating this opportunity, doing something so new. The conclave having unusually robust general congregations before it, where big issues came up. The idea that this is on the 5th ballot, and that's unusual. And now you get a Pope who is from South America. When was the last Pope from South America?
Never.
This is the first Pope from South America. This is the first Pope named Francis. These are all firsts.
Incredibly dramatic, both substantively and symbolically. Again, it is worth saying that of these 1.2 billion Catholics in the world today, 2/3 of them live outside the West. That share is going to be 3/4 by mid-century. You can make an argument, but the single most dramatic transition in Catholicism today is the shift in the center of gravity from north to south. And to have a Pope now who symbolizes that burgeoning Catholic footprint outside the West, obviously, there's not only going to be a party in Buenos Aires tonight, but I think there is going to be joy and hope and optimism all across the Catholic landscape.
And just to reset the people who are coming now from America or around the world, we have a new Pope, we believe, is a cardinal from South America, the first Pope, first non-European Pope, first Pope from South America to be sure. And we believe it is Cardinal Bergoglio, Jorge Mario Bergoglio from Buenos Aires. This is portentous of change, is what we've been saying. Pope Benedict creating this opportunity by resigning, the novelty of it. This conclave giving us a Pope on the 5th ballot, which hadn't happened in 100 years. And now, a South American for the first time, named Francis, we believe, according to Italian television, the first time, the first Pope Francis. All signs that maybe there will be change. Cardinal Bergoglio, important to note, we believe finished second to Pope Benedict in the last conclave. We had been told if a big name doesn't pull out to 77 early on, he could be the great uniter. He is someone everybody respects.
Left, right, and center. I mean, I think he would be seen very much as a moderate in terms of his own ideological stance, someone who crosses boundaries, but deeper than that, seen as a keen mind, seen as a very capable administrator, seen as a man of real personal integrity, humility, and simplicity, and a man of great faith.
And humble. That matters, doesn't it?
How often have we heard that people want the church to relinquish some of the wealth and the power? This is a man who gave up his residence, his cardinal residence, moved into a small apartment, gave up his driver. He wanted to project and live a simple life. And this is a man who took the name here, St. Francis.
And we have that confirmed now from Vatican Radio. He has taken Francis. St. Francis of Assisi, of course, someone who was symbolized by being humble, give to the poor, take away all your riches. It sends a strong signal.
And this may not be immediately clear to non-Catholic audiences, but we should how astonished a choice it is to take the name of Francis. It used to be thought no pope would ever call himself Francis.
Here we are.
Francis
Take a watch.
has been such a great figure.
The curtains are open. The cross bearer is coming out. And there he is.
You might want to come watch this. You think people would shut up out of respect. Yeah, the whole crowd, yeah. I don't know, like, do you act like that in the church? No. Like, I understand it's a new pope, but I don't know.
Dear brothers and sisters, good evening.